traders from across the globe, and welcome to the 1260th edition of Short-Term Trading Live with Oscar. Traders, 1,260 videos strong. These videos are geared to teach you the art of technical analysis so that you can use it moving forward in the S&P, the stock market, sugar, ETF, stocks, you name it. This analysis will help you see the future if you handle it properly. I am here to teach that to you at livewithoscar.com, at a live website every day in a chat room with camera and microphone. So come on down. It's free. It's live. Come join me. Traders, what's up there? Did I say come join me? Come join me. All right. Traders, so what do we have on the board for trading on December 22nd? Really Sunday through Monday. Christmas week. Volatility should be grand. However, it should be straight up volatility because the markets have proved that they wanted to find legs, and that's what we're going to talk about in this video. Before we get into it all, though, let me show you what's up. Well, let me just talk about disclaimers here. Futures traders can be and is extremely risky, can cause substantial financial loss. Certainly in today's volatility, always place stops. Place them first. Futures trading is not suitable for all traders. Stops don't always work, but most times they do. And I want you to recognize that this truly is my opinion, but it is a technical analysis opinion. It is a straight, raw view from the charts, what they say, without any thought behind it, what I think will come next. That's what we're about to talk about. Now, before we get into the charts, let me just say the best thing that I've seen happen in a couple of years has happened. Round of applause for this one. Dodd-Frank rules have been shelved for 2 years. Might as well call it repealed for now. What does that mean? Traders, somebody like me is insane enough to have downloaded the 10,000, 12,000 pages in the Dodd-Frank Act. Started with 2,000, with all the riders, about 10,000 or more. Plowed through everything I needed to plow through and got to the area that involved futures and stocks and banks and trading. And basically, layman's terms, the Dodd-Frank rules said, you're a bank, you're no longer taking deposits and using them to trade the market, so you're not gambling with depositor money. You are not making markets unless you get a special request by a customer. Then you're allowed to make markets. You are not going out there and hedging unless you're hedging an exact portfolio or at a customer's request. They basically stop the banks and brokers from being market makers. That was what Dodd-Frank did. It has been repealed or at least shelved for 2 years. And markets are going to get much stronger, much more volume. They will trade a little more correctly like they used to do before the crash. Why? A market maker's job is to be there at any bid or offer and hit the bid or accept the offer and make sure there is liquidity in the markets. That's been sucked out since Dodd-Frank. The markets, if you might have noticed, have been very thin. Even though they're moving high, the volume's not that thick. The volume will increase dramatically moving forward this year as the traders, the big houses now decide how they're going to implement more trading strategies based on the repeal of Dodd-Frank. Thank you so much. Thank the Lord. Some of it might be bad, some of it might be good. I noticed it wasn't good for the markets. For us little guys, let's hope it gets back to normal. All right, so what else is on the board? The market is on target for the Omni projection of 2130 to 2150. It's been on my board since the beginning of the year. Read it and weep, you analysts out there who pretend you know what you're doing. Nobody makes calls like the Omni. You've seen tremendous calls year after year. Long-term calls. You try that when the market was trading $17.90, you pundits out there. You can't shine my shoes. We talked about crude this year. We called crude at 103 down to 45. Do you see how low it's gotten so far? You cannot shine the Omni shoes. I don't care who you are out there. You can learn from the Omni. Now, what's on the board? The Omni and the Fed teamed up on Wednesday night or Tuesday night for Wednesday. I showed the video. I told everybody about it. I told my chat room. We have a timing pattern which turns us bullish on Wednesday. We've got Aunt Janet. Thank you, Aunt Janet, which you know turned us bullish on Wednesday. We had an Omni turnaround for Wednesday. We had everything it took. Beautiful recipe for the market to move higher. Traders, this is no backseat driving. I did 3 videos in a row while we were crashing and said to all of you, let me show you reason why we should not crash. Not a crash, been on my board. I am no backseat driver. Omni knows what it's doing. I told you this wouldn't be a crash. I told you on the day it was going to turn. OmniX got long for it. Thank you, Omni. And I think we've got more upside. This target comes. What else is on the board? Always sell double tops. You remember the chart I left you in the bonds? And I said, look, top one, top two, always sell them. Wait until you see the end result there. Traders, let's go look at some charts. Let's see why we're going to hit this target before this year comes to an end. If not, maybe first week next year. But we're hoping before the year comes to an end. With no further ado, let's go look at some charts. Traders, in the last 3 videos as we were crashing down, I kept putting this chart in front of you. Chart masterpiece. Note the average. Look at how many times it held. And I would say things like this. This wasn't a crash, was it? If this was a buying opportunity, and this was, 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 what makes this a crash? And I said, remember, traders, get that question in your heads. If you can answer that, then maybe you can figure out what's coming next. So this is what it looked like. And I told you Aunt Janet was coming to the rescue, right? I've been showing you chart after chart. No backseat driving. This is what it was. And this is what happened. Take a look at those two together. My goodness, traders, that is unbelievable. Look at the way this thing just exploded off that line all the way up to here. New highs, baby, just like that. That's one chart. Let's go look at the next. I put this NASDAQ before your eyes in video after video and said, now what? Aunt Janet, silly, this is simple. We were down here. That's what the chart looked like. That's what it was. And this is what happened, traders. My goodness, once again, a round of applause. You cannot do better. There are no better calls than calls like this. Straight back to the high. Look at those two compared to one another. Then we've got this. The Dow Jones Transportation Average. I won't bore you with chart after chart. We were down here and I said, that's about it. She should hold all the way back to here. Does this make it completely bullish? Not yet. Not yet, but that's a bull flag. That's a flagpole. Away we go up here. That chart looks fantastic. Next, Dow Jones Industrial Average on the weekly bar. Once again, I showed it to you here in the last 3 videos. I said, don't worry because we explode. There's a little room to dip, but that's about all it will be. I am a man of my word. I stood behind it night after night. And boom, look what happened since. Come on, traders. It doesn't get better than this. This is technical analysis firing on all 8 cylinders. Then I showed you the DAX, and I said, remember, we've got a possible double top. Let's observe. These days came in, bang, bang, weeks, I should say. For 2 weeks it went down. It held here, and woo, all the way back up here on Friday. That's where you are now, about to challenge that double top. Nice call there. Then traders always sell double tops. This is the UST bond market, the daily bar chart. I showed this to you right here, and I said, look, double top, we know the rule. When we see a double top, we sell a double top. That's what it looked like, and this is what happened. I mean, my goodness, that you just can't make up. Traders, you can't make this stuff up. It's like watching a movie. It's just unbelievable. Next, look at this. The gold, traders. Beautiful chart. We've been making fantastic trades off of this chart for months and months on end. I showed you the top was in up here a long time ago on the weekly chart. Then I showed you this formation and I said, look, you got the 3 bounces and a break. Then I recognized that this formation was the exact same as that. I put these 3 arrows here and I said, we're right here now. We should drop. And we did. But bang, we dropped severely, right? So I put these arrows here and I said, here's where we are. We should drop. Boom, boom, we drop. Then I put this next set of arrows here last week. And I said to you traders, here we are now. I contend that this is the new spot. Let's make those hollow. Let's move the arrows here. I contend we are here and we are about to start our drop. And this is what the chart looked like when I showed it to you. And here is what has happened so far. You may think that's nothing. But the gold went down and settled down here. That's a weekly chart, traders. That's what it looked like. And this is what's happening now. You gotta love this stuff. Nothing better than technical analysis. And then we've got this. What's keeping it all together? Look at what the dollar index did. It said double top, no chance, I am the king. The dollar is king. It went right through the double top. It's all the way up here, not a double top. The dollar moving higher at this point in time doesn't seem to be giving the world trouble and will continue to boost our stock market. Traders, pull your own charts, do your own homework. This market looks pretty darn good to finish out the year. So, traders, you've seen the charts. There's my technical argument for why we should see the 2130, 2150 target this year. Go, Omni, go. All right, traders, this is the beginning of winter solstice, right? Today's the day, yesterday, today into this weekend. Winter solstice begins. It's supposed to be a freeze out there, right? There is no freeze in the Omni hour, I'll tell you right now, baby. Look at it go. So far, so good. On a serious note, something I'm reading today, you know, I read all the newspapers on the weekends, every single industry rag I can get my hands on. Wall Street Journal, Times, everything in between. One of the articles that stuck out, serious note here, is do not eat caramel apples pre-made wrapped in cellophane at that, you know when you buy those at the store, caramel apples. Don't eat them. CDC says 3 to 5 people are dead so far from them. They don't know what's going on. No caramel apples, all right? You know, just on time for Christmas too, imagine. All right, traders, so that's about it. Enjoy this week. It's going to be an interesting week. We will trade the Omni until something goes wrong. As soon as it blows a gasket, we're done for the week and we'll let the holiday come in. But I'll be there at the chat room live on my camera, so come join me at livewithoscar.com. Traders, remember, keep your emotions out of trading. One of the best things I can do to tell you to help yourselves with that is say this to yourselves every morning, every afternoon, and every evening. And you know what that is. Stops are in. Emotions are out. Traders, another round of applause for technical analysis. My goodness. Futures trading is risky and can cause substantial financial loss. We do not claim or guarantee that you will profit from the information provided.